Well, greetings and welcome back. One of the nurses at the Yale studies recently told me that I should look into purchasing a hearing aid since compromised hearing can affect how well you communicate and hear what is presented to you. And I replied by saying, I'm sorry, what did you say? I didn't hear what you said. I'm tired of wealthy people marrying other wealthy people. Why don't you spread that wealth to someone who is not wealthy, but a very kind, solid person who will most likely surprise you as they won't regard the wealth as, oh, now I know I can do whatever I want and I don't have to work anymore. And I hope this will occur more often, but I'm not very optimistic. And now for some women's quotes, as I found these on YouTube, of course. Also, I will provide the person who penned the quote or would just say unknown. Behind every great man is a woman rolling her eyes, and that's Jim Carrey. If you want something said, ask a man. If you want something done, ask a woman. That's from Margaret Thatcher. I'm not offended by blonde jokes because I know I'm not dumb, and I also know that I'm not a blonde. Dolly Parton, excuse me. A woman is like a tea bag. You never know how strong it is until it's in hot water. And that's from Eleanor Roosevelt. Women who seek to be equal with men lack ambition. That's Marilyn Monroe. I have yet to hear a man ask for advice on how to combine marriage and a career. That's Gloria Steinem. Can you imagine a world without men? No crime and lots of happy fat women. Nicole Hollander. A woman's mind is cleaner than a man's. She changes it more often. And that's Oliver Herford. Women are meant to be loved, not to be understood. Oscar Wilde. The trouble with some women is they get all excited about nothing and then marry him. That's from Cher. A woman without a man is like a fish without a bicycle. Gloria Steinem. I married Mr. Right. I just didn't know his first name was Always. I like that one, and that's unknown. Men are from Earth, women are from Earth. Deal with it. That's George Carlin. I'm an excellent housekeeper. Every time I get a divorce, I keep the house. That's Zsa Zsa Gabor. My husband and I never considered divorce. Murder sometimes, but never divorce. That's from Dr. Joyce Brothers, of all people. What women do, they must do as well as men to be thought half as good. Luckily, this is not difficult. Charlotte Whitten. Some women choose to follow men, and some women choose to follow their dreams. That's Lady Gaga. Being a woman is a terribly difficult task since it consists principally in dealing with men. That's from Joseph Conrad. I'd much rather be a woman than a man. Women can cry, they can wear cute clothes, and they're first to be rescued off of sinking ships. And that's from Gilda Radner. I'm selfish, impatient, and a little insecure. I make mistakes, I'm out of control at times, hard to handle. But if you can't handle me at my worst, then you sure as hell don't deserve me at my best. And that's from Marilyn Monroe. Men also want to be a woman's first love. Women like to be man's last romance, and that's Oscar Wilde. I'm not funny. What I am is brave. That's from Lucille Ball. There is no such thing as an ex-wife, only a woman with a new life, and that's unknown. Husbands are like fires. They go out when unattended. Zsa Zsa Gabor. There are two theories to arguing with a woman. Neither one works, and that's Will Rogers. How to find a wife. Number one, be rich. Number two, be famous. And number three, see rules one and two. And that's unknown. Before marriage, a girl has to make love to a man to hold him. After marriage, she has to hold him to make love to him. That's Marilyn Monroe. The only thing worse than a man you can't control is a man you can. That's a very interesting one. That's Margot Kaufman. No man is truly married until he understands every word his wife is not saying. Unknown. A woman can laugh and cry in 3 seconds and it's not weird. When a woman says what, it's not because she didn't hear you. She's giving you a chance to change what you said. That's unknown. That's an interesting one too. A man's got to do what a man's got to do. A woman must do what he can't. That's Rhonda Handsome. I want a man who's kind and understanding. Is that too much to ask of a millionaire? Zsa Zsa Gabor. And she was a money grabber. Women are cursed and men are the proof. Roseanne Barr. Why does a woman work 10 years to change a man's habits and then complain that he's not the man she married? And that's Barbara Streisand, of all people. If you think women are the weaker sex, try pulling the blankets back to your side. And lastly, Stuart Turner said, I am a woman, and let's face it, we're crazy. No, I'm sorry. Stuart Turner went for the previous one. I am a woman, and let's face it, we are crazy, and that's unknown. That's a very good one. Okay, here's a thought for today's world of technology going rogue and abandoning transparency. If it works, fuck with it. And of course, we're going to see how effective AI will be, which means, of course, more hacking, stealing, deception, and that we won't want even know what to do about it. And that's lovely, isn't it? I'm like stumbling here, anyways. All right, I saw this native Indian on YouTube, and he was a comedian. He claimed that he locked his coat hanger in the car, and that it was a good thing that he had his keys. He noticed that 3 Indians walked out of a bar sober, and he said, that could happen. And back home on the reservation, he said that he worked as a waiter at a restaurant, greeting them at the front door, asking them if they have reservations. And then he said that he had a really bad fire this past summer, and that it burned down 20 houses and 250 broken down cars. But we managed to save all the beer coolers. All right, more George Carlin quotes. Couldn't resist. If you try to fail and succeed, which have you done? The Christians gave him Sunday, the Jews gave him Saturday, and the Muslims gave him Friday. So apparently God has a 3-day weekend. Here's all you have to know about men and women. Women are crazy and men are stupid. And the main reason women are crazy is that men are stupid. I do this real moron thing, and it's called thinking. And apparently I'm not a very good American because I like to form my own opinions. Religion is like a pair of shoes. Find one that fits you, but don't make me wear your shoes. Excuse me. I was thinking about how people seem to read the Bible a lot more as they get older. And then it dawned on me, they're cramming for the final exam. And just because you got the monkey off your back doesn't mean that the circus is left town. There is a humorous side to every situation. The challenge is to find it. My advice is just keep moving straight ahead. Every now and then you'll find yourself in a different place. People always tell me, have a nice day. Well, what if I don't want to? What if I want to have a crappy day? People who see life as anything more than pure entertainment are missing the point. I had no shoes and I felt sorry for myself until I met a man who had no feet. I took his shoes and now I feel better. I think I am, therefore I am, I think. What if there were no hypothetical questions? If you can't beat them, arrange to have them beaten. I often warn people, somewhere along the way, someone is going to tell you there is no I in a team. What you should tell them is that maybe there is an I in independence, individuality, and integrity. I think it's the duty of the comedian to find out where the line is drawn and cross it deliberately. Atheism is a nonprofit organization. I have as much authority as the Pope. I just don't have as many people who believe in it. Isn't it a bit unnerving that doctors call what they do practice? In America, anyone can become president. That's the problem. And don't we know it now, too? Have you ever wondered about these people who spend $2 a piece on those bottles of Evian water? Why don't you try spelling Evian backward, and it might help. See what it turns into. Don't just teach your children to read. Teach them to question what they read and teach them to question everything. And not only do I not know what's going on, I wouldn't know what to do about it if I did. And lastly, I have lots of ideas. The trouble is most of them suck. And lastly, I have to admit that Christopher Walken is all over YouTube, and for a good reason. It's the way he talks, which is so captivating with gaps in the tone of his voice. He must have about 3,000 people who imitate him. And beside that, he's a great actor and he's born in Astoria in Queens. I'm out.